Good morning YouTube, how you going? I'm Iski. Welcome to my YouTube video, and today we're going to be turning Westinghouse Clothes Dryers into different brands of clothes dryers. This one over here, we are going to turn this one into a Simpson clothes dryer, a manual clothes dryer. You can see that's the manual timer interface there. This one here is a fully automatic machine. It's a lot more expensive than what we're turning it into, but there's a reason for doing this. I'll let you know shortly. And this Westinghouse over here, this one is a 5 kilogram. We are turning the 5 kilogram into an Electrolux machine. So it's also a fully automatic machine, just a different one. It's possible that I'll be kind of keeping it as a Westinghouse, but more than likely I'll be turning it into an Electrolux, and there's also another reason for that. So yeah, this 6 kilogram Westinghouse is going to become a Simpson, and this 5 kilogram Westinghouse an Electrolux. The reason I'm doing that is I've already fixed these dryers up. I thought they were beautiful, they were ready to go. I tested them out, and remember how I test my dryers every single time I fix a dryer. Well, the problem is, you can read down there, I've written it down, will not turn off. Went for 3 hours. That sucks. And this one here, it basically the same thing. This went for 2 hours and it turned off, and then I retested it and then it wouldn't turn off. So guys, I have to tell you, I hate fully automatic machines. They are so problematic, it really sucks. You know, not just, so basically when a dryer is fully automatic and it doesn't turn off, it pretty much needs a new, what is it, here we go. It needs a new heat sensor, and that's a heat sensor there. They get plugged into here. That heat sensor there is, well, this whole section is from a manual machine. They also have heat sensors, but they're for different purposes. And yeah, the problem is though, you see these are one unit. There's one wire that goes in there and it finishes at this end here. Well, you have to replace the entire wire. At least with these manual machines, you can just unscrew these, pull these off and just replace them. So basically, if you want to replace a heat sensor in either of these machines, you have to pull the entire guts out. If you want to do it correctly, you have to pull that massive big inner shroud out, that massive big inner shroud out. It's a massive job. It really sucks. I've made a video on this before. If you want to have a look, I'll leave it in the description. So yeah, you have to pull a bowl out, you have to pull that out and then replace the heat sensor. Now with me, because I would never buy a brand new heat sensor, because I've got tons of them, you know, because I get them from other machines. But the problem is, if I was to put another heat sensor in there, go to all that trouble, there's a good possibility that that heat sensor is stuffed as well. So listen, I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope for this machine that it's going to be okay, because I'm still turning this machine back into another automatic machine. But for this one over here, I don't have to worry about it because I'm turning it into a manual timer machine. Who cares? It will always turn off. So that is the main reason that manual machines are so much more superior than fully automatic machines. Not to mention, computers on these fully automatic machines die all the time. Now, compared to a manual timer, which is one of these, this part here basically gets pushed, you know, connects to the back of that. Well, they never die. I mean, I see them die occasionally. I must have replaced, yeah, they do die, but maybe 1 in every 100 machines that I fix, I have to replace one of those timers, whereas the computers are replaced constantly. Anyway, that's beside the point. Now, the deal is, you may have noticed just recently, I made a video where I was trying to turn an Electrolux machine into a Westinghouse machine. It didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to turn out, and that is because, well, on the bottom of these, just along this lip here, there's these tabs. It's like this one here. If you have a look at here, see how there's a tab there and a tab there and a tab there? Well, the tabs, there's 4 tabs. Well, when I went to put the Westinghouse interface on the Electrolux unit, well, the holes wouldn't line up with those tabs. There were four tabs, 4 holes, and only 2 of them lined up. So it was an easy thing really to get to bypass. I just had to cut a couple of tabs off. You wouldn't have noticed. But in the end, I just decided to keep going and turn it into another Electrolux machine. But with this particular one here, I'm pretty sure I am going to turn this one into an Electrolux machine so that tabs won't line up. So I will probably cut the tabs anyway. So you'll see what I'm talking about shortly. But with this machine over here, the only problem, the only issue with turning a Westinghouse machine into a manual Simpson machine, which is what we're going to be turning it into, we're going to be putting this on here. Now check this out. Can you see how that is that height? Now if I was to bring that here, now look at that. It only comes to there. Now these tabs here, they should actually go into a cavity. Now the problem is this one here, because it's longer, there's like square holes for its tabs to fit into. Those tabs will be exposed because this is not as long as this. Hopefully you can understand that, but if you don't worry about it too much, because you'll see what I'm talking about shortly. We'll have to kind of cover those up. I've done this before, I've done it once or twice before, and it looks okay. I always tell people who are buying these machines what I've done and how much better they are. What I'll end up doing is using some white electrical tape to cover those holes, and hopefully things will look okay. But that's the deal, guys. I'm just going to do a time lapse of myself doing this. If you're here because you want to know how to replace a belt or an idler or a capacitor or a bearing or something like that, look at my other playlist. I've got a playlist full of repairs for these machines. But for now, we're just going to get into this. I'm going to do a time lapse. Like I've already said, I've got people coming over to buy some dryers off me this afternoon, so I've got to get these done just so I can kind of get my head into a selling type of space. All right, okay, let's do this. Hey, listen, just before I start time lapsing, I thought I'd quickly just tell you the game plan. So the game plan is, rather than just replace that wiring harness, I am actually going to pull the inner shroud, which is that thing. I'm going to pull it out of this machine and replace that with that. So I'm basically putting that guts there in this machine. Reason being is it's already got a timer, it's already got a wiring harness attached. I don't have to mess around with, replacing wiring harnesses with the existing shroud that's in that machine. Basically, it's the same deal with this. Now, this, like I said before, this was out of a Simpson machine. You can see I've actually cut the timer off this particular one. So what I'll end up doing is throwing this harness away. And the reason I have this harness on the floor is I'll put that harness on this inner shroud. Once that's done, I will put that entire thing in that machine after I've cleaned both of them, because they will still have lint and things in them. I like to make my machines like new, but the best part is the entire machine, everything in there has already been cleaned up. And so yeah, I'll end up keeping those inner shrouds that come out. I will just throw the harnesses that are attached to the inner shrouds that are in those machines away, because they have the dodgy heat sensors on them, and I have heaps of harnesses anyway. There's no real need for me to keep the rest of them. So that's the deal. Let's just get started. Well, there you go, all finished, all done. So these two dryers used to be Westinghouse dryers. This one here used to be a 6 kilogram fully automatic Westinghouse dryer. It is now a Simpson 6 kilogram manual timer dryer. And this dryer here used to be a 5 kilogram Westinghouse dryer, and it's now an Electrolux dryer. And it's being tested at the moment. I'm really hoping that in the next 10 to 15 minutes that will drop down to the cooling cycle, and the cycle will end, because then I know that the heat sensor in this fully automatic machine works. But anyway, fingers crossed. But the Simpson we know is going to work. Now the only thing I'm not happy with is this. It's the sticky tape, the electrical tape, the way I've put that tape all the way along there. Now I've only done this once before, like I said, years ago, and that time all I did was I just put little pieces of tape. You can see there's square holes there, there, and there. And last time all I did was put, pieces of sticky tape over each one. I thought I'd try something different this time, but what I forgot, well, what I didn't realise is I thought it was going to be straight, but it's not straight. This actually follows the line of the Westinghouse interface because it's actually got a bit of a curve on it. So yeah, so do the holes. So unfortunately, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off and I'm going to go back to doing what I did previously and just put, individual pieces of tape. It'll be fine, it'll look really good, but I'll do that later. But there you go, it's cool, I like it. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. Anyway, that's the video. I'd like to say thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.